Belief systems are all in your head. They are not real. Still, if the belief system makes you love and connect with other people, that's entirely okay. But as we all know, many belief systems are not leading in that direction. Hello from Sweden, and welcome to Everyday Mystic, a gentle guide to your liberation. My name is David, and I hope that you're feeling well and that you're having a good day. Now I want to begin by asking you a question. I know that many of those who watch my channel are going through spiritual awakenings, and then we are starting to perceive ourselves, the world, and other people in a completely different, less judgmental and more loving way. But if you hold a particular belief system, how does it make you perceive yourself, the world, and other people? These are important questions. And the answers are maybe not that self-evident as they might seem on the surface, because many of the consequences of the beliefs that we hold are actually hidden to us until we really start observing ourselves and uncover what they are really leading to. Do your beliefs essentially create connection or separation? This, I believe, is the fundamental question to ask yourself when you approach belief systems. This, and does it lead to you unconditionally loving other people, or does it lead to you judging other people? I've actually seen this being played out in many instances lately. Because, as those of you who have followed my channel for a while might know, I have a special affinity for Christianity. I do believe that Jesus came here to show us something very important about how to treat other people, how to relate with God, and how to best conduct our lives in this world. But all of this is not a belief system. Because belief systems are by definition based on beliefs. If you can test something against your own experience, if you can test it against your personal experience, and see how the results play out in your everyday life, you don't need to believe anything anymore. It's not what it is about anymore. It is about observing the direct results. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what belief systems are. And this is my own definition, but it is also connected to the definitions that you can look up for yourself on the internet. It is labels tied to a set of beliefs, plus something that is connected to your personal identity. It's usually related to politics, religion, or philosophy, but there are other areas as well. And the thing is that we create an identity around this. We add an emotional component to it. If something threatens our belief system, we feel threatened as individuals. I think that you might be able to begin to see how belief systems can distort our perceptions of reality because of this. Because if something threatens your identity, your sense of self, you will do what you can to preserve your identity. What this leads us into is selective perception, which is a very normal functioning of the human brain, We take in some information, we filter out other information, and we distort some information. But now when it comes to belief systems and the filters that they put on our experience of reality, this tends to become a little bit more complicated. Because suddenly our selective perception is no longer, as it is usual, connected to our personal experiences and our personal interests and what we do on our day-to-day lives. Instead, it becomes an effort to preserve our identity. We filter out information that might challenge our belief system, while we uncritically accept other information that supports the belief system. And yet again, we distort some information so that it either fits into our belief system or so that we can, through what is commonly known as a straw man, dismiss a wrongful view of what the information is actually telling us. Now, sometimes it is good to look at examples of what a belief system is not, so you can more easily understand the difference. And I'm actually going to give you a quote from 1 Corinthians in the Bible, and it is about love. This is not a belief system. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoings, but rejoices with the truth. If you can really understand this, this hits at the core of your heart. If you apply this to your everyday experience, to your interactions with other people, whether it is in what you do, what you say, or even what you think about them, you will see how this creates positive results, both for yourself, your own character, and for your relationship with other people. And you can take it a step further and look at what would happen if you did the opposite. If you were impatient and unkind to other people. If you would be envious and boastful. If you're arrogant and rude and so on. What this would cause in your personal life. Now, another interesting thing here is that, and this is what the psychoanalysts have shown us, that most of our behavior is unconscious. So what do you think when you hold a belief system that causes you to judge other people, to believe that everyone else is wrong, and it is your duty to inform them of this, and point out the wrongs in others? How do you think this is going to cause you to act towards other people? And now let me tell you that I used to be a very judgmental person. I started to become aware of this. Now this sometimes still rears its ugly head in my life, but I truly try to be as observant of this as possible and let go of all of these beliefs that separate me from other people. Now, this is not a condemnation of religious faith, not at all. And I want to make this very clear because it could easily be interpreted this way. But I actually have a very good view of a lot of Christianity. But it's not the belief system Christianity. And I don't believe that Christianity necessarily has to be viewed as a belief system. I believe that you can try to incorporate the principles that Jesus tried to teach and the example he set without having all of the beliefs tied to it in place. Because again, it is one thing to look at values, to look at principles that make you interact better with other people and live a better life into the world. And another thing to have a whole system of beliefs that you have to have in place in order, for example, to be saved and not be condemned. And again, I want you to think about what your beliefs actually are doing with you. How do they shape your behavior? How do they cause to interact with other people? And another thing that I find very interesting is that labels work both ways. And as I said, belief systems are labels tied to a set of beliefs, and it is tied to our identity. But when we attach a certain label to ourselves, we also cause other people to view ourselves in a particular way. You can think of this, for example, when I mention a few words that are tied to belief systems: Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, New Ager, feminist, and alt-right. What kind of images come up in your head when I mention these labels? Think about this and think about how it affects the interaction between different people. Again, if the belief system that you hold does not cause division with other people, if it really helps you to unconditionally love other people and welcome them with open arms, then I'm all for it. And if that is your definition of Christian, to try to implement Jesus' teachings in your everyday life, then I'm all for it. Then you can call me a Christian. But if it is a belief system with very rigid set of doctrines, where you say you either believe all of these things or you are condemned to hell for all eternity, and it is my duty to inform you of this and to spout a bunch of judgmental things about you and towards you if you don't conform to my beliefs, then absolutely not. Then I'm not a Christian. And I see many Christian YouTubers act in this exact way when they talk about certain other people that don't share their faith. And this is not something that I want to have anything to do with. Now, what can you do to understand this a little better? I always take it down to self-observation first, because I think this is so crucial. Observe how your beliefs shape your perception. Become aware of this, because so many things happen on an unconscious level. So, before you really start to observe yourself, you are not really aware of how you behave, how you talk, or how you think, and what the motivations are behind this. So look at this. Look at what shapes your perception. Look at how your belief system specifically makes you look at yourself, the world, and other people. Does it cause a lot of shame in you? Does it cause a lot of pride in you maybe? Does it cause you to look at the world as a terrible place? Or does it make you maybe look at the world through rose-colored glasses? Does it make you judge and hate and condemn other people? And create my group and your group, and you cannot be near me as long as you believe all of these things, and then we cannot talk until you start to believe the same things as I do? Is it your job to teach other people to believe what you believe? And again, how does this affect your behavior? And ask yourself this also: what do I truly know? Because even for smart people, it's very easy to get swayed by clever rhetoric. And there are a lot of very smart people that are very wrong out in the world. And they are very good at arguing their point. And you can actually see what the public discourse has turned into when it comes to this. We have all of these very intelligent people with very huge egos that only want to spout their particular belief system, their particular ideology or faith, and their only mission is to convince as many people as possible that they are right. There is no real care for truth in this anymore. It's just my way and everyone else must conform to it, or they should just shut up, basically. This, you can see very clearly, is what the public discourse has turned into. And I think that you also, when you start to wake up to some of these things, you will want to distance yourself from this. Because there is some truth in the saying that, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And I think that most people would, if they consider this a little bit, think that they rather want to be happy. But our ego is very good at wanting to be right at the expense of others. And this is something that we need to move away from. And another thing in this is also that there are a lot of people that speak with a lot of conviction. And when someone speaks with a lot of conviction, it can often get past our normal boundaries when it comes to how we take in information. We think that, oh, this person is so convinced of what he or she is saying that there must be something to it. But if this was true, then there would be a lot of people out there with very conflicting beliefs that all would be right. In this context, I think that it is important to emphasize that I don't want you to believe anything that I'm saying here, if it doesn't resonate with you, or if it is confirmed by your own experiences. I am talking about things that I have found out along my journey, through my personal experiences, and the way I have interpreted my personal experiences. Everything might not be right, it probably isn't, but I am trying my best to find out the truth without all of these filters of beliefs that we normally apply to reality. And something that consistently comes back to me, which is also part of the message that I'm trying to convey in this video, is that at the absolute fundamental core, we are one with God and we are one with each other. But our little egos, with their wants, wishes, desires, and needs to be right, etc., things that I've been talking about throughout the video, pulls us away from seeing this connection, pulls us away from this fundamental unity. Because we are standing on the verge, this is what I have in no uncertain terms seen, we are standing on the verge of something magnificent, where we are moving into a completely new way of approaching reality, ourselves, other people, and our relationship with God. But what has never worked in the past is to try to have one right belief system in place and get everyone to follow this belief system. What my experiences tell me is that we need to shift the focus towards ourselves, towards what is going on inside of ourselves, and clean ourselves up instead of trying to change other people. This, I believe, is the new expanded vision of interacting with reality and with other people that we need to adopt if we want to move out of our current problems that we are facing. So it's not about finding the right belief system, it's not about changing other people, but instead changing ourselves and seek what is causing unity between us and move away from everything that causes division. And that's it for today. If you like this video, leave a like, leave a comment, and share the video on social media and other places. All of it helps the channel to grow. And if you haven't done it already, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so YouTube always notifies you of new videos. And check out the description and the comment section for other things that me and my wife are doing. Especially check out my store Trickster Saint, where I have my own creative works. And other than that, just sincerely thank you for your time.